up, guys? It is your girl, April. We are back this week on Sunday Sessions, emphasis on the sesh. We have a little surprise for you this week. We have a guest, and his name is Cormac.
Right. Hello. Happy to be here.
We randomly met at a bar in Nova Scotia while he was friends with other friends, and we got outside. And we ended up just kind of talking. And I was like, I like the way you talk. I like the way you think. I like the way you kind of like present yourself. It was just pretty cool how when we first met, we were just having like pretty smooth conversation. Hey.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you for that. I like talking to you as well. Yeah, this is like super random. I think this is awesome. When I was out that night, I was out with my friend Ben, who was visiting from home. So I hadn't seen him in a while. And then we met up with his sister and her friends. So like I didn't really know anyone, I would say. Well, sorry, I like knew them, but not well, if that makes sense. So then seeing you, yeah, it was just like on par for the night, I feel like.
During the night, I literally was like, hey, I'm trying to make a podcast. Do you just want to come on and smoke and shoot shit with me, basically?
I was like, yes.
So give everyone a little background of who you are, what you've done, what you're doing. How was high school for you?
I loved high school, I gotta be honest. I went to Rossa High School. So I guess that's part of where I'm from. I'm Rossa, New Brunswick, just outside of St. John. Born and raised there, same house, same everything. Yeah, in high school, I went to Rossa High, which is just like the public school there. Its population was like 450 when I was there. My grad class was like sitting around 90 to 100. If anyone's listening from Rossa High, call me out. But no, I mean, I had great friends in high school. I got more and more involved as I went. Like I did grad class committee. Sports were like a huge part of my life. That's another thing about me.
Da-da-da.
Yeah, that's right. We're learning, right? But I did theater in grade 12. The school did. And it was kind of sick. We did High School Musical. And it was like crazy fun, but it was also super poetic because I'm not even kidding. Like the whole basketball team did the play as well, like a ton of athletes. Like, it definitely agree with me on this. It like united the school. It was crazy. And it was High School Musical. And that's like the whole plot. Like, yeah. So that was high school for me. It was sick.
Only in grade 12 did you guys become High School Musical, like real life basketball team. Who was Zach? Were you Troy Bolton?
I was not. I would have loved to be, but I think also at the time, I don't know if I would have been able to shoulder that. This is a proud moment. I'll shout out Alex Shepard. He's one of my closest childhood friend of mine, and he got the role for Troy Bolton. My understanding was because it was he was the only person who could like had the vocal range to sing his songs.
Okay.
And Alex didn't sing. Like no one knew. So like this just kind of secretly emerged.
It was real life Troy Bolton coming together. Just his friends are around, and you're like, what the actual hell? But this, you guys were supportive. Like in the real movie, they didn't give a fuck about Troy. They no Troy, don't sing.
We gave a fuck about Troy. I'll tell you that. Yeah.
I love that.
He was sick. Yeah. I have to tie this home. I really do. I got a lead as well, the one that didn't sing, which is sick.
What were you?
His name is Jack Scott. So in the theater version, because of the way the scenes are laid out, they need almost like a narration type role to kind of like make it flow. So that's the role I got. So I basically had a lot of these like really big parts in between scenes to kind of keep the story going. But our director was like awesome. She cared about all the little details. So I had like a defined character for sure. And I was basically like a nerd who thought he was really cool. And I was pretty much able to just have like a field day with that.
You're like, I know who I am, and I'm just gonna fucking rock out.
Oh, I mean, it's like, I don't know. I've definitely been steering into the nerd thing as well. I wouldn't say I think I'm cool. I don't know. But either way at all, it felt right. It was a lot of fun. Yeah. Part of all this was I like did rehearsals with Alex all the time. And he was good. It was first time acting, I believe first time singing, and he was doing lessons. And I always remember like the first rehearsal that he got up there, you could almost feel it. It was like the whole school's like, holy shit, like the guy who got Troy for his voice is about to sing, you know? And he fucking nailed it. So that's shout out to Alex. He got an award for his performance at Drama Fest. He took it on. He's probably the worst basketball player I know. Sorry, man, but he would agree with me, I think. Like, I don't know. He just took it on and nailed it. I gained a lot of respect for him for that. So
I love that. So you were in the theater. You were loving the geek game. You were going strong. You wore the hat proudly. I love that. I am also a bit of a science geek, more so.
Yeah.
So when you were in high school, did you have any idea of the person you wanted to be or what you kind of wanted to do in school?
That's a good question. I'd say I've always been a very like passionate person. I've always loved math and like science. Like I'm a huge science kid. Like I said, I'm basically just staring into it at this point. But yeah, I would say in terms of what I wanted to do after school, university was, I mean, it was always talked about. I have like a pretty academic family. Like my mom is a doctor, my dad is a engineer turned nurse, funny enough. And like my granddad, it was a prof. Like, so education, I would say, was like a really strong value in my family. So, but yeah, education was still just always really there for me. So, and I loved it. I really love science. I love math. So I was like ready to pursue it. So academically, and like, I guess it's still in my direction too. That was a big one. Like happiness has always been my kind of like core. I truly think like success is like, if you are happy and like, I don't know, making others happy, that's like means a lot. So that's what I cared about at the time.
I 110% agree with this. And I think that's why I like the other night when we were talking about at the bar, like outside kind of thing. And we were just kind of like digging deep into like, I guess just like random stuff, political stance, which I really like talking about politics, I guess when I'm drinking. I get so passionate about the world just being like so shitty and just actual core values that people have and want to practice in their everyday lives. And I just think we as a society has definitely moved away from core values of like who we should be as humanity. You know what I mean? Like I feel like we've gotten so away from that through like industrialization and just like random things. Like everything is so, we've made things too fast. Like in high school, I remember randomly going back, but just like I had no idea that I wanted to kind of do nursing. I knew I wanted to help people and I just didn't really know how. But one thing I wish that someone had told me back in high school was people take a gap year and just work and then travel for a year post university. I wish I had known that or like had that cross my head, because I felt like as soon as I got out of high school, it was straight from, you know, I should go to school. I should find something to do. All my friends are going to university. I'll go to university. Not that I wasn't planning on not going. I just like applied to nursing. I ended up getting waitlisted and then actually went in the following year. But I just wish I'd taken a year off to just go wild.
Right. No, I think that makes complete sense. That's kind of what I was getting at before is like, I think there's like a lot of normalized pressure put on people to kind of follow these specific paths. I mean, a lot of people now, especially if they took their time and they're now maybe in a degree, like for just to put out there, I'm 24. So at my age, I would say a lot of people are just getting degrees and getting jobs. And I feel like people almost like preemptively get defensive is the wrong word, but like when they're talking about that, like, oh, I'm actually still in school. I ended up, this happened or that. And it's just like, I'd love to get to a place where you don't have to like justify that at all, where it's just like, yeah, we all have our thing. Like watch my dad go back to school at like 40. And I don't know. I think it's all kind of garbage. Yeah.
Yeah. I hate when people feel like they need to justify where they're to in life or how they got there. And it's just like, it's just such a pressure to like know what you want to do. And then I guess too, if you have so many people around you, you know, what it seems like on social media, quote unquote, like succeeding in life, or you know what I mean? It doesn't make sense. It's like it makes everything 10 times worse. It's like we're all just ultimately trying to be happy, follow our own rhythm, and kind of the pressure to like not be able to do that freely is like super strange.
100%. I guess one of the biggest things I started like believing in is that there's actually no pressure on me to do anything. Like obviously, yes, like getting obviously like a source of income and being able to sustain myself. And it's like, as long as I can find a way to do that, I believe I can do whatever I want and whatever makes me happy. And that I feel like that's not what's traditionally pushed. Like security is pushed a lot, which makes sense. Like a nice thought I have, and just for like to go on record, I fucking love my job. Well, that might come up at some point. I really do. I have no plans to leave at all, but a thought that gives me a lot of comfort is like, I could wake up tomorrow and be like, oh my God, I actually hate coding. I want to do something else. And I can do that. Yeah. And I think that's really important. Like, I really think there's no pressure. There shouldn't be pressure. Like, as long as you can sustain yourself and be happy, it's like,
that's the goal, man.
Oh, right. Happiness.
So where did you go to school to?
University of New Brunswick, their Fredericton campus.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's just about an hour and a half from where I grew up, I guess.
So people call New Brunswick New Fundswick. Would you agree?
I get it. Yeah, see, this is a classic lead-in, right? It really is. I think New Brunswick has lots of hidden gems, and I'd be lying if I said I didn't love growing up there, which is interesting. I think there's still a lot of stuff that, like I said, I get it. I feel like I agree, but at the same time, I'm also like, you should still check it out. You know what I mean? Like, there's some beautiful little spots. There's cool hikes. I love joking about the Bay of Fundy, largest tidal ranges in the world. Okay, can't find that anywhere else. You can if you go to New River Beach, And then you go back there like 8 hours later, you'd be like, whoa, where'd the water go?
Where'd that water go?
It's gone. I realized I maybe even fucked up that time a bit. But either way, you can like literally watch the tide go out. And it's like the lamest thing
That
ever,
sounds
but I just
sick.
love that we have it. Yeah.
That sounds amazing. When you left high school and you went to university, did you kind of keep the same friend group or did everything kind of just like slowly start dispersing?
I mean, I would say like yes and yes. I'd say I'm still good friends with everyone I grew up with. Like I love when I go home, I have lots of people to catch up with and stuff like that. But I definitely was very quickly surrounded by mostly new people at UMB, which I was really pleased about. I really did want a new experience. Like I wanted to meet new people, experience new things, like get out of where I grew up, even if it's only an hour and a half away. I would say like immediately became good friends with like all the people that I would call like my very close friends now. Like it's kind of nuts to think about how quickly it really happened. Yeah.
I totally feel that. So St. John's from Spangers Bay is like an hour's drive. It's not that far, but you're meeting like a whole new group of people.
Yeah.
And then I would say that my school life, I met friends here and there, and we still keep in touch, but we're not like super duper close except for two at the end, which were Montana and Katie. They call me Little Head for some reason. They tell me I wear baby size glasses too, which are really great. So they're the homies. They're like the true ones. And then I feel everyone and their dog worked at Boston Pizza. So I worked at Boston Pizza
I love
for,
that.
for like almost like 4 years or something, like literally my whole
Yeah.
degree. That's where I met Sophia and Heather, which are two of my really good friends from back home.
Right.
And then we all kind of had random friends, and then we all randomly became friends. And it was funny because some of my other friends were friends with these people, but none of us have ever actually crossed paths. And then
Right.
it was like a bunch of misfits had gone to St. John's or were already there, and we all
Yeah.
just like kind of found each other.
Right. That's amazing.
It was the most random thing I've ever been a part of. And we all fit together so well. And we still like,
Right.
it literally does make sense. Like Kristen's here, sat down with me now, and we met at Boston Pizza. And then she moved to Halifax and I stayed in Newfoundland. And then I was like, come to Halifax. And she was like, yo, and like picking up with people that like you haven't seen in a while, but it feeling like the same thing. Like it's like you just left them and you're coming back.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, it sounds like we really feel similar. I mean, I guess anyone who knows me, to be honest, knows I like completely gush about my friends all the time. And it's like, I know they do the same about me. You know what I mean? Like, it's actually really cool. I felt like a lot of love from all those guys. And it's been almost like humbling thinking about like how we met and got to know each other. And like, we all lived in res the first 2 years. Basically all moved off campus together, but somehow still stayed this like big, ridiculous unit. It just got like closer and closer. And then like, can't say enough about those guys, really. I would say are a group of complete idiots. Like we like just going out and getting hammered and having fun and doing stupid stuff. COVID hits, and then all of a sudden, so I lived in a house with 5 other guys. So I guess there was 6 of us, and then across the street there was 5 more of my friends, and that was like a big old squad, right?
Oh my God!
But that was my COVID situation, right? And obviously it was still tough, but at the same time I was living with all my best friends. That's when it was like, okay, this isn't just like a dumb, okay, sorry, not that I like ever thought it was like a dumb drinking group. I would hate for that to come across, but like we started doing like murder mystery parties and like potlucks and like pizza nights and just like all
wholesome
like,
shit, man. Wholesome
found
shit.
all this, yeah, exactly.
It's crazy.
Really
I think
special.
COVID really like tests friendships. It either like brought people closer together, or you might not even talk to some of the people that you talked to before COVID. I felt like COVID changed me in the sense of I used to have bad FOMO, like fear of missing out. Like I'd be like, oh, no, like I'd be exhausted getting off Boston Pizza, being like, oh, and then I'd be like, no, fuck it, I'm going out anyways. I remember once I was like stood up at a bar with my friend Sarah, and I had gotten off a couple of shifts in a row, and I looked at her and I was stood up at the bar and my eyes were closed, and I must have fallen asleep for a quick little second.
Yeah.
And I was like, Sarah, can you go check that blood pressure over there? And she was like, what? And I like, as I was saying it, I turned to her, I was like, what the fuck did I just say? Like to think that that used to be me now. And now then, and now I'm just like, no, maybe I'll just make a buffalo chicken dip and like chill it. Like, I just don't like, I have zero fear. Like it just, my mentality also, I guess it helps that I grew up a bit too, which
it's like more confidence, like self-awareness too. Like being able to say no is something I've been learning too.
It's a new adaptation.
Yeah, 100%.
I think as soon as I turned 25, I want to just not give a fuck, but like give more of a fuck.
That's I think I know what you mean.
Yeah, like divert my attention away from things that don't matter, people's opinions of you, the
Mhm.
old opinion you had of yourself, just let it all go. Who do I want to be?
No, it's good though.
Picking up what I'm laying down.
I am. Well, yeah, I was gonna say like a big thing I've learned in the past few years, I feel like, is that like my happiness is like 1,000,000% number one. I like to think I'm a caring person. Like I really do care about like, making other people's days better. And like I think that's a super underrated way to small things, whatever. If I don't take care of myself, I can't be the best version of myself to other people. So like I feel like I've really focused on like prioritizing my happiness and doing what I would like to do as much as I can. I feel like my life's gotten better from that.
Yeah, I think that's totally a good point to make, thinking about your own happiness. And there's a difference between like being selfish and thinking
Yeah.
about yourself, choosing to know that like you deserve better or that you can do better and like just striving for that. And I think that just helps with like growing, understanding, maturing. And I also think too, it's important that people learn that at the end of the day, no matter if you have family, if you have money, if you don't have money, it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, you have yourself.
Mhm.
And like you need to be able to count on yourself. And that's why it's so important that people kind of be by themselves and kind of grow their own backbone and not afraid to just, I guess, love themselves more.
Right. I totally agree with you. It's like a bit of a point of pride for me. So I did Renaissance College at UMB, and part of that program is like a Canadian internship where you work like any job within Canada, but it
Okay.
has to have some leadership, has to influence the job in some way, which is like most jobs. But either way, I got a job with a software company in Montreal. I went there and I kind of like went out of my way to live on my own, and I didn't know anyone in the city. I guess I just knew my boss, the person who hired me, and then his son was my age, and his son was nice enough to like pick me up at the airport. Shout out Will. Um,
Thanks, Will.
Thanks, Will. But that was just like a cool summer for me. That was like my first time living on my own. You have to like document your learning. RC is very like introspective. But one of my goals was just like spending more time on my own, like doing more things on my own. And I feel like that summer, like I genuinely did like really like get in touch with myself more, like learn about myself more. And I'm proud to say that it was very like intentional. You know what I mean?
Intentional. How old were you then?
I would have been 20. That was the summer after my third year, and I went straight to school. So first year you turn 18, and then second year you turn 19. Yeah, I turned 21 there. That makes sense. Math, right?
During your math, what's 9 plus 10?
21.
21.
I love that one. Or no, the state one is sick too. I forget how exactly it goes, but she's like, you got like 13 states and like 15 colonies. It's like she like says random numbers that don't really make sense. It's like goddamn 47. You ever see that one? I don't know why I just assumed that was like a Google.
I like your
goddamn.
version of it though.
I feel like she's got to do it better. If you're
She's
watching this, Google goddamn 47. I don't know. It's been around for a while. I think it's a good one.
I think it's a good
simple.
one.
Yeah, it's the simple things.
Would you say any point during university you felt like you kind of hit rock bottom? I know that's a pretty fucked up thing to say, but do you remember the struggle? I feel like 21 was the beginning of the end, but like it for a good reason.
Right.
Or do you think it hasn't happened at all? Have you ever felt like
That's a tough question, because I've definitely had a lot of tough times. I guess I don't really know what I would call rock bottom, but there was definitely a few times where I was like,
God damn.
questioning thing, like questioning either certain programs or certain things, or like stuff would happen, and I'd be just like, wow, like this is what it, you know what I mean? Like this is happening right now. Like this is,
this is
I
it.
think it could get worse. Well, you know what I mean? When you don't think something could get worse, and then something else happens, and all you do is you're like, what?
Me and my friends, it's funny that you actually say that because Montana and Katie and I would be in nursing school and we'd be like, when something shit would happen, we'd just be like, what's another hit? Like just let him keep on coming. Just
that's the exact joke I was making. Like, you got anything else? Anything else you want to throw at me? Like Jesus.
Please do. Like,
yeah, yeah. Pretty involved with the Mental Health Association. After third year, I started getting way more involved with different companies. Jesus Christ, is this what's happening to me? Different clubs, wholesome
companies.
Clubs. Yeah, companies. Yeah, I was part of the Mental Health Association in my third year, or no, maybe even my second year. But either way, I was involved in it for a year, and then I became the co-president of the club, and then the president eventually. And it was like something I was really proud of. And yeah, mental health is like super important to me. Like I've had my own kind of struggles growing up, but I feel like I've just seen it affected different family members. So yeah, I would say I put a lot of time into advocating for that, talking about your feelings. Like I really try to be the friend too that if someone's like, oh, I'm having these feelings and I don't know, and it's like, have you ever tried counseling? Or have you ever, like, trying to normalize these things that I think are really important. Like a really, really core belief of mine is that people need to be able to like talk about their feelings. You know what I mean? Like I really appreciate people who are open about like, oh, I had a really tough day yesterday, or like how they're feeling. I feel like it kind of normalizes having emotions, which I think is super, super important for a lot of people to hear.
We should promote therapy for kids, whether
Totally.
they want it
Totally.
or not, or just to have another outlet growing up. If you don't have at least like one person that you kind of want to go to and just vent. And like,
Yeah.
it's kind of hard too when you talk to people who you feel have a bias kind of towards you. And I remember in university, it was actually the first time that I like went and spoke to someone. And it's crazy how it just started opening up like almost like all these new pathways in my head, because I would remember being in there being like, oh my god, this and this, and well, obviously it's this, and she's like, but what if it's not? And I'd be like, wait, what?
Right.
Yeah. How did you take to learning to be self-sufficient without like your safety nest around? So how's your family? Like, were you
Mhm.
guys close? Were you not close?
Yeah, it's a good question. I have a really close family. I'm like, I feel like anyone who knows me too knows I'm a huge I'm definitely like my mom's biggest fan. I'm fighting my sister for it, but I mean, I'm lucky. I have like two incredible parents. My sister, I would consider like a close friend as well as a sister. You know what I mean? Like
Nice.
we really get along. We live in the same city now, so we hang out. It's great. Hi, Kira.
How old
And
is Kira?
Kira is 26. You really put me on the spot for
Know
the
your
thing.
family's age or they'll disown you.
Straight up. Kira wouldn't like that, obviously, and I wouldn't like that either. But no, she's 26. She's 2.5 years older than me, and I just turned 24. My bases are covered. Sorry, I really just went on a tangent. I love my family. School was cool. I really liked how I did it. Well, how it worked out for me, I guess, with residence, because I lived in res for the first 2 years. So I was like more self sufficient. Like I was out of my home bubble. I was with all these new people in this new environment, doing new school, new everything. But I was like super protected to do all that. Like, everything you need is on campus, right? Like there's the pharmacy, the meal hall is right across the street. All my classes were right there. I was living with all of my like best friends. So that really helped because I feel like res was just like fun, fun, fun. Like I learned a lot about myself living away, but I thought it worked out really well because I really felt like I was in a good environment to learn how to live away from my family. And then off campus was kind of like that next step of like level of taking care of yourself. Like I always remember when I first moved in there and I was like hungry and I wanted food. And I was with my friends and I was like, holy fuck. Like we don't have meal hall. Like it's like I don't have food. And they took me to the grocery store. And I don't know why. Like I've gotten groceries. Like I know how to get groceries,
I
obviously. But I
know
was
how
just
to
like,
guys. This is not
I
day
swear,
one.
yeah. I was like frozen in the store. I was like, what the fuck do I do? Like I have to go like stock, like what am I doing? And it almost felt like my friends like held my hand and like brought me around and got me different stuff. And I made this little meal. But I just always remember that like actually felt like a slap in the face. It's like, holy fuck. I have to like cook, right? I can't just like go get food. This is crazy. So yeah, it's like a whole other wave of learning like that. Hopefully less like embarrassing types of learning. But yeah.
Have friends that will feed spoon you at the grocery store. Would you recommend going to res first?
It's hard to say because I wouldn't say it's for everything. I want like I'm sure you're putting together like I'm a very extroverted person. I really love meeting people. So for me, res was just like fuck, like so much excitement here, there, and everywhere. Like I said, like I immediately met some people that like I would confidently say are lifelong friends. So it was I had like a very lucky, amazing experience. But I would still recommend res as long as you're not like horribly uncomfortable with like closer living and just that style. But like yeah, I couldn't recommend it enough.
I like that you just like shoot your shot, just kind of go for it. I like that energy. Have you always been like that?
Yeah, yeah, I would say so. Just kind of like going for things like
Yeah, just like putting yourself out there, just like new experiences, new
mhm.
people. What would you
Yeah,
recommend to someone try to adopt that method?
yeah, okay, no, that's a great question. Because yeah, I would say I've been like that for a while, and it's only been kind of more and more. Like I've still had lots of areas where I really try to stay in my comfort zone, but that's something I'm working on. Like I would say doing things that scare you and like pushing your comfort zone is kind of I'm learning more and more. It's kind of like everything. As hard as it is to I don't know, go for something that is scary or maybe a little uncertain or maybe or like you're putting it off because you're like subconsciously scared what like whatever it is, just like going for it and actually conquering it and like having that feeling. Boo.
Give me the free
Um,
Zoom or give me death.
Zoom, if you're watching, sponsor this podcast.
Please.
If
Just
if
kidding,
they
Zoom.
yeah, just kidding. I love you. If they do that, I want 5%. I'm trying to remember where I was at. You're getting me real into something.
The feeling of
Or
putting
just don't
yourself out there and like getting
yeah.
that back in return.
Like I've been like that a lot and I've been impulsive. I would say I'm a very like quick thinker, and that's not to not to say in like a smart genius way or something, but I'm just very fucking now. Well, there's been a lot of times where I've just been like fuck it and done something, and like whether it's big or small, like just going for something.
No
One of
squeaking on your
the
chair.
I know,
Unless you're,
dude, I hate this
can
chair.
you
This
put
is actually
WD-40 on your chair or
ruining the pod.
I'm just
Um, no, it's all good. It's all good. If it makes you feel better, I genuinely do hate this chair, and it's like a incoming birthday gift, a late birthday gift for me. Actually, shout out mom, getting a chair. I just need to actually. I've been looking up like chairs, but I don't know what to look for.
growing up is so fun.
Googling top 10 chairs. That's like a thing I
What
Google
one
now.
got the best back support?
Well, it's like I code for a living, right? It has hit me. It's like, wait, this actually kind of matters a lot. Like,
Oh my God, absolutely.
um,
Nursing. Every time I go into a room, I'm like, nose between toes, use your legs.
what is that? Oh, like
The
stretching?
commercial.
Yeah. What is? See, fuck. See,
Don't
I
get it
told you, pop
twisted.
culture. It's pop culture.
Pop culture
I knew.
-2.
I knew this would happen. I gotta go. Yeah. That like one of my like biggest pieces of learnings, like seriously, is like I feel like I always thought it was super cool to just be like naturally good at stuff. Like,
People
and put
that are
effort
like
in.
naturally good at everything,
Yeah.
those people are crazy.
I agree. I completely
I'm like,
agree.
how the fuck are you? You're good looking, you're really smart, and then to also be good at like sports or like and artistic. I'm like,
Yeah.
is there any point that you don't hit on? Like,
Yeah. Well, some people are just good learners, right? They just pick things
yeah,
up. And that's kind of what I'm getting at. I would never want to like shit on people like that. But I feel like I almost took pride in if I did like excelled in stuff and didn't put much effort in, I'd be like, wow, that's super cool. Like I'm super cool. And I feel like I had a point where I was like, no, like I'm a fucking loser if I like there's nothing admirable. Sorry, but like I don't think there's anything at all admirable about like not putting effort in. Like if anything, that just says something about my character. And I feel like I hit a point
damn.
where I was like, sucking at things is actually really cool. And like the people who are like willing to suck at something until they're good at it, or maybe they're not, who cares? But the people who are like willing to like unapologetically suck at stuff, I think is incredible. And I feel like I've had a total mental shift in that where it's like throwing myself in the fire and like being willing to be bad at stuff and like letting go my ego is like I feel like that's again another thing that's like my life has just gotten better since I've tried to like shift the way I look at things. And it's like, okay, no, it's at like sucking at something means you like working on it and you're going somewhere with it. And I think that's no disrespect, right? But that's way more admirable than just it's really impressive when people are just really, really good at stuff. But at the end of the day, I think effort is way more admirable. Effort compared with the people who are naturally, it's like sweet. But you know what I mean? That's so I've been trying to do that more. Just put myself out there, like to do things I suck at, try new things, and it's
I think that goes
awesome.
hand in hand though with, just say fuck it, like just trying to be happy, just trying to live in the moment, like try not to put too much stress on yourself. Like you can be really good at something or you could fucking suck ass at it, but like
Yeah,
at
right.
least you're going for it, and like
Yeah.
someone was like, you only got one ticket, you only go this way once. And I'm like, fuck, like, well, who gives a shit about being stressed out about the stuff that doesn't matter? Like, who cares about money or like who cares about like all this stupid shit that we've placed
Mm.
so much like importance on in society and it doesn't even make sense.
I couldn't agree more.
We need to let people fail. We need to let people thrive. Like we need to
Completely connected.
we need to connect. And like, I don't understand if people get it that we are all one unit. Like whether
Mhm.
you believe in like God created people, whether you believe that science, like, we are all connected, I believe. And it's just so crazy that there's so much hate between all of those connections
A lot of
now.
disconnect going on.
Yeah, there's a lot of disconnect going on. And it's like over nothing. Like that's why people just need to smoke and chill and just like
Smoke more
just
weed.
like chill out. Yeah. Just like everyone needs to relax and we need to just like focus on the things that do matter now. You know what I mean?
I couldn't agree more. I think everyone could use a little bit more looking out for others. Like I said, I feel like that's I don't know if it's how I was raised or how I am or whatever, but like that's always been a huge passion passion, I guess. It's just like actually trying to look out for people, like make someone's day a little better, even if it's small. Like a belief I hold is that it's like super, super easy to make someone's day like a little better, even smaller. And like it's so, and maybe I'm just completely missing something, but I really don't think it's that hard to be a nice person. And I think the world could use a lot more of that.
I think people need to adopt, yeah, the method of like just being a lot nicer. And I think that people don't like, say, for example, people like panhandling. At the end of the day,
What's that,
whether
sir? Panhandling?
panhandling, I guess like asking for money, like on the side of the
Oh,
road.
okay, yeah, right.
I remember someone was like kind of like, acting a certain way once when I was kind of with them. And I was just like,
Hmm.
and they were like, oh, like what if they go and use that money to buy beer or weed or drugs? And I was
Heaven
like,
forbid.
first
Yeah,
of
that's it.
all, would you do it? Would you do it in the snow? Would you do it in the rain? Would you be on the side of the road? Next question. If that is the only happiness that someone gets out of their fucking day is to go and do something that makes them feel good, whether you think it's good
Yeah.
or not, does that matter? Would you not do it?
Oh,
Wh-
I couldn't be more with you.
People can do drugs, people can drink, people can do whatever when they have money. But the moment that someone's struggling and they're doing the exact same thing, just in a different environment, all of a sudden
Yeah.
everything's twisted. Tell me how that makes
Oh my
sense.
God. No, I couldn't agree more. And I think that's like a little bit of understanding, right? Like there was lots of times where I haven't been in a place I want to be, or like not acting how I want to be, or something like that. And people who've helped me during those times. Where am I going with this? It's like I don't know. Looking back, it's like you can also be that type of person for other people too. Like be a little bit of empathy, I guess. Literally a little bit of understanding for like where people are at. Like, yeah, what if we didn't judge the homeless person trying to get money and be like, oh, they're just getting drugged. Like, what if it's like, yeah, that would actually really suck. And if I was in their shoes, I don't even know how I would feel. Go buy a joint, go buy coffee. I don't care at all. I hope this made your circumstances a little less bad.
I don't understand why people are so angry at people. It's like someone may be like out doing that, but no one actually probably takes the time to actually learn about people. My favorite thing, literally going downtown, is people like talking to me. Not if like people are being like too much or things like that, but like there's so many
Yeah.
stories of people that I've listened to and like doing like mental health and like nursing and things like that, like stuff I'm super passionate about. It's so funny how just shit on people that are below us, and I think the reason that it's gone on, and I may or may not be correct in saying this, but I think it's the people at the top telling the people in the middle that it's the people at the bottom that we need to worry about, which
Okay, I
doesn't
see where you're
make
going at.
sense. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like
Yeah.
that is just how society has like just dwindled down, and it's like all these people with all the power and all the
Yeah.
money and like whatever are over here, and they're distracting you by telling you to look over here. It's like these people aren't the problem. We need to be helping these people. We need to be doing more for these people. That's why
Mhm.
like healthcare got to get better, just even on the primary care side. I know this is a bit of a different rant,
No, go
but
for it. Go
I
for it.
also think like too like mental health services. How do we expect people to take care of themselves and do things they need to do to live a relatively happy life if we don't give them the opportunities to do that? They're
Mhm.
always working. People are so stressed out they don't have any time for their families anymore. And then we shit on them when they're doing bad and we don't care.
Yeah, I do know what you mean. That's a great. That's a. I mean, that's a good one. I'm a very lucky person. Like I met a lot of super super cool people that kind of I don't know. I've learned a lot from. I guess. Like I feel like it always does starts with my mom. It's got to start with my mom.
It
But
always starts with the mom.
she's like, yeah. I mean, I'm obviously really biased, but she's just like a really good example of someone who I think is like truly, genuinely so caring, and like everything she does is just so intentional to like really fixate on the smallest thing, just like improve something a little bit for someone else. And when I'm like, Mom, like it's gonna be okay, she'll be like, no, but it's my job. Like you could tell it's like she cannot even compute doing otherwise. And like I think that's what's just so cool. Like she's painted such a good example. She shines a really bright light in the world. And I feel like I've seen that my whole life. My dad, oh fuck. Okay, no. I can't go on a big tangent about my family right now because I actually will. I feel like that's totally not what you're asking. My dad as well. I watched him. He actually had a big stroke in my senior year of high school. It was like, to be honest, from it was just like supposed to kill him. They like didn't know how he survived. It was kind of crazy. And just watching him like come back from that and just like find like he wasn't able to work after, like watching him just kind of like new life and live in a new way and stuff for me is just so like it's been so admirable, you know what I mean? And I felt a lot of very unconditional love from both of them. And I don't know, I just think they're both great people. And I feel like I don't know. I mean, you have these people, it's them. You know what I mean? Like if we're talking people who've influenced me, like I've just been unbelievably lucky with like an amazing family. And then like I said, just like meeting all these great friends. Like my friends, I gotta shout out my sister. My sister's literally the best, but I can't keep going on tangents. She's so cool, so smart, so proud. But if I'm moving on, my friends in school, like they're so up for anything and like up to have a good time, but like really passionate about what they're passionate about. I feel like a big thing I've learned from them is just like how to enjoy life. Like one thing I would say about them, we'd always say it too. It's like I think you could drop us anywhere ever and we would have like the best time. But like we literally are all we need. Like we could go to the shittiest bar in the city or go literally anywhere. And it's just I don't know. To me, it's like having that level of like enjoyment is so I think that goes a lot beyond like enjoying what you have, thinking about what you have instead of what you could have. You know what I mean? So it's
Putting out
yeah.
good energy. That's why I like manifesting things and putting things out into the universe. I think is very important, and
Mhm.
trying to attract like that same energy. People being
Right.
kinder, people being nicer, it goes a long ways. But letting go of like shitty, toxic people out of your life. And I know it's like not easy, but it
Yeah.
allows you to make room and try to attract the things
Couldn't
resonate
agree
more
more.
with you.
That like you hit the nail on the head when I was talking about prioritizing my happiness. That was it. Like I look around my life now and like the people I spend time with, I love it. You know what I mean? And like I think when you're surrounded by such amazing people, it's just so much easier to, like I said, like be the best version of yourself. Like I feel like I'm able to.
It helps
Uh,
recharge your soul, and it puts like
yeah,
some like hope
exactly.
back in the world that like this place is not turning into a complete shit show.
Oh, I think there's a lot of amazing people out there, and the more you kind of like you said, be yourself, put good out there, the more you'll find each other, and who knows where the world is going. But like, I do think there's a lot of out there, and it's worth kind of having faith in.
That's why I'm super like pumped about like the podcast and just having people on and just people kind of just like putting different perspectives out there and their different voices out there and just like their
Mhm.
different vibes out there and seeing if somehow we can like cultivate this kind of culture where we're just like fuck the way things are, like let's try to genuinely do better. And like I think our generation wants to do that, and I feel like other generations like that are older, like some of them I know are just like, man, like we just voted for so and so because that's who everyone else did. Or remember like back home people are utter like PC or liberal. Like I think
Mhm.
it's more important to actually start to connect and have people who actually care about the public and care about others, and just bringing that energy forward.
Couldn't agree more. Could not agree more. The world could use it.
The world could use a little bit of kindness.
A little bit of love.
Up until this point in life, what have you
Mm.
learned about not caring and adopting the method of like people just like being you?
Right. Yeah. Okay. I get you. I get you. I mean, for me, it's like all you have, right? The more comfortable I get with myself, the more it's like all I can be is me. And the more you realize that, the more I really think it is related to that whole like being bad at stuff, putting yourself out there. Like I feel like I've gotten to the point now where I mean I did in this call, it's like, yes, sue me. I lose my attention sometimes. That's just something I do. You know what I mean?
That's just
Like,
me.
yeah, that's just me. And not to
So many
say,
people like resonate with that. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
Nathan
And
literally is like ADHD as fuck. Like
yeah.
no, just like accepting like the absent mind, be like, you know what? That's just who I am.
Like genuinely is because like if you ask me if I didn't give a fuck what people think, honestly I'm a pretty sensitive person. Like even if someone got in the comments and they were like, yo, this guy's a fucking loser, I'd be like, hey, like
Ouch.
but what I would relate to that though is that the more comfortable you get with yourself, I feel like the more you do that, like you get comfortable with what you're good at, what you're bad at, and where you can improve, right? Like I mean, there's probably ways I could improve my attention span. That's less on my priority list because that's a pretty intense one. Like, I'm just trying to be. Sorry, it's getting a little away from fucks to give, but I feel like just the more honest you can be with yourself and others, like the better it is. So, like, I don't know. Let's say if I was in a group and I was like, saying some shit that maybe I realized after I didn't really mean or didn't believe or something. It's like, to me, honesty in that case is being like, what were you doing in there? Like, why'd you say that? What was that all about? You know what I mean? Just like reflecting on it a little bit. And I feel like the more you can kind of like have conversations like that with yourself, that is sorry, like that totally is giving a fuck what other people think. But it's more like, who are, you know what I mean? Is Cormac Stewart really the guy that just said that in there? Is that what you know what I mean? Like,
That
what's that
guy?
all about? Yeah, that guy. So like, I don't know. I feel like for me, living with no regrets means more just like it's easier to not regret things when you're just honest with yourself, right? And give yourself a bit of forgiveness. If I said something dumb in this call, I probably said a million dumb things, but it's like, all right, well, how can I get better? Like, this is what it is. I said it, and then it's like, okay, you know what I mean? I can go from here. I can get better at this, right? Maybe like this sucked because I said this thing or something. It's like, yeah, that happened. You know what I mean? I've done like a gazillion stupid things in my life, and I'm probably gonna do a gazillion more. There's things I'm ashamed of, things I'm less ashamed of, but like looking back, it's just like, I don't know, being able to get to a place where it's like, yeah, I did that. It sucks. That wasn't who I am now, and I wish it wasn't then, but that's maybe what needed to happen for me to get here. And I think the more you can kind of think like that, and just not to say maybe no regrets, it's I think it's just a better way to kind of navigate the like inevitable regrets that you will have.
I like that. I like that a lot. I agree that
Thanks.
nothing
Yeah.
is stagnant. Nothing is just gonna, stay status quo. And I think an important thing about basically growing up is just not caring what, the opinions of others and
Yeah.
fighting to have a voice against others who, maybe depict you in a way that they see you, whether it's, just from a distance or close up. And then I also think learning to, like you said, forgive yourself for the mistakes and the regrets that we're all inevitably going to have. And the reason that we have them is obviously to grow from them and learn them. And that's why
Exactly.
the
Yeah.
biggest concern is when you don't learn from it and you don't take a lesson out of
Exactly.
it. And then you
Yeah.
might take the lesson and learn something, but then to not implement it. It needs to be a whole transition,
I couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. For me, I feel like a genuine fear of mine is like not being able to keep myself in check. And obviously that's something I might do now. I might be actively doing that right now. You know what I mean? But like as long as I can be as honest as possible with myself, I feel like I'm setting myself up to just keep, just trying. I'm trying to be a better person, right? That's it.
every day.
Every day, a little bit better.
Thanks, Mom.
Hey, shut up, mom. Had to do it. I feel like there's probably never a way she would ever. My mom, I got gush about her to the end of the friggin' earth, but she sucks with technology so much. Like she's hilarious with it. She's super good with like the birthdays on Facebook. That's like she actually doesn't miss that shit. It's pretty incredible. And we're at the point now we have a little like family group chat. We'll send little like puppy memes and shit in. But for the most part, mom is just like she knows it too. If she saw it, she'd be like, "Yep." But yeah, so if
I
she
don't
listened to
know.
it, hey, if you listen, hey mom, I'm proud of you. You made it. You made it to the
She
podcast.
made it. You downloaded it. He didn't have any faith in you, but he's sending you all the love
All the
right
love.
now.
Yeah, there you go.
He's gonna be like, I'm a podcaster. I swear, Cormac. You're gonna be like,
Mom should get
Mom,
a podcast.
I heard you talk about High School Musical.
Oh my god, yeah, I gotta get Alex to listen to this actually. I could promise you, and High School Musical is sick. Don't get me wrong, but I did not expect to talk about that like literally immediately too. Like if you asked me like 100 times before this call started,
Friends are gonna be listening. They're gonna be like, did he just talk about High School Musical? Did he talk about Troy Bolton? Did he talk about all of his? Who's Gabriella? Where's my love?
I'm trying to think. Like I feel like I haven't talked about that High School Musical thing in a while. Maybe it was someone somewhat recently, but like for the most part, that really was just like boom, High School Musical. Shout out Alex. Alex sang, man. He sang his heart out.
He's saying his everything. I literally could feel the happiness as you literally talk about this.
It was cool. It was cool to see. I'm not gonna lie. I knew Alex. We would have met. Geez, I hope I don't get this wrong. No, it was grade 6 in middle school, but we played like sports together a little bit growing up. But yeah, and so I knew him at this point for like 6 years. He's like a great friend of mine. Then he just fucking sang and like nailed this lead role and like took on this like terrifying thing. And I was just like, bro, yeah, go off, man. Go off. Shout out Alex. He's doing well. He's in Ottawa now.
Love that for him. You made it.
Me too.
Hope you're still singing, man. Hope you're still singing.
Keep playing ball, Troy. Yeah. Cheers.
Hashtag Wildcats.
Hey, don't even get me started. Like, I would do that if someone was like, you can do that play again with the same cast like right now. I'd be like, yeah, like, where do I sign? Like, talking impulsive, I would sign that right now.
Do you want me to quit my job? Do I have to go back and
Well, you gotta, yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. No, I'm not going that far with it, but I would make it work. I definitely, actually, come to think of it, whatever. I still would. I'd make it work. Yeah.
Is there anything that you did not say that you would like to say before we tune out for this week?
Yeah, I can't believe I never thought I'd be on like the podcast where we're like, shut up. I gotta plug this. I'm so sorry, but I never thought I'd be that person that like plugs their app. But I'm straight up. I'm so sorry if this is cool or like it was not cool, whatever.
Do you know me?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Straight up. Just cut this out if it's a problem. But
no, I want you to go off. Give us your energy right now.
I will. This is actually something I'm really, really proud of. And actually talk about just doing stuff. And I was saying my friends are pretty like impulsive. We actually started a company together in 4th year. We were all losing our jobs because of COVID. I did computer science and Renaissance College at UMBA. Weird background, but either way, bottom line, I know how to code, and 2 of my friends do as well. And one of my friends just kind of like mentioned this idea that he had, and we thought it was really cool. We were like, "Yo, we could build that, I think." And
I think
like we were all literally, I think is like, cannot stress that enough. But losing our jobs, like having our plans canceled for the summer and stuff like that. And he kind of contacted my other 3 friends. There's 4 of them that kind of had the idea together. They like did a project about it. And yeah, we set up a call together and we did it. We built it. It's called Dinner Bell. And it's an app. The original idea basically meant to be an app that you get like real time notifications for deals at a restaurant in your area. So picture Ale House is having like a slow night, right? They could go on Dinner Bell, be like, you know what, $3 beers from like now until close, and push it out, and everyone with the app would get that. They're like, oh shit, we should go to Ale House, $3 beers, like that's sick. Like it was kind of made for people like us who like I said, we could go anywhere, we could have the best time together. We're basically just working with budget, you know what I mean? Budget and time, like we're, you know what I mean?
Budget and time, baby. Budget and time.
We'll just like magnet to any deal possible and just have fun. So that's kind of where it started. It's now kind of evolved. We actually built it and launched kind of like a closed, or like an open beta trial, I guess, in Fredericton this summer after our 5th year. And anyways, it's since evolved, and now it's kind of like a hub for information. Basically like what's going on in your area still, but it's not that explicit use case. There is still cool like deals and stuff you can get, but it's also meant to be like, oh, I go on Dinner Bell and I can see like we realized so many people learned like, holy shit, this place has a wing night. I did not know that. Like you could go on their profile and see all their weekly specials, what's going on, what their hours are. So it's like one spot where you can just kind of see what's going on in your area and like the different deals, like especially Halifax has so many happy hours, so much live music, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's basically just a way to get mainly like local kind of establishments connected the people around them. That's the goal. So yeah, that's Dinner Bell. You should go get it. It's on. I can't believe this is so crazy, but it's on the App Store. I don't have an iPhone. And
Me
the Play
neither.
Store. Hey, you mean a fist bump through the? Yeah, honestly, it's one of those things. Again, like I've gushed about my friends in this call. The fact to sit here and be like, yeah, we built a company and launched an app together and stuff is just fucking crazy, considering like everything we've kind of been through, the amount of love I have for them, and like to be able to say that I've only kind of gained respect through this whole process it's like really humbling. So yeah, Dinner Bell is something I'm very proud of. So yeah, go have a look, go check it out. Maybe you'll learn about a cool new deal in your area. It's live in Halifax and Fredericton.
Perfect. I love that. So you guys heard it here first. Go check out Dinner Bell. If you're random like us, where you're just with some friends at night, you're chilling, you're like, fuck it, let's go somewhere. And I hate trying to decide where to go, but if you know what's going on, if you know the deals, if you know what's happening, it's literally, it narrows down that list for you. It makes everything so much more convenient.
Right.
I love that.
That's right. I use it unironically.
So I guess we can say we don't really know where we're going,
Mhm.
but it's not a terrible thing.
I've never known where I'm going. No, it's okay.
Dinner Bell, going to Dinner Bell.
Dinner Bell.
Getting
Dinner
that
Bell,
app.
going to the moon. That's right. Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on. I'm so glad that we actually got together to do this. And I
sick.
am trying, to to do it now because I feel like uploading the first episode kind of put like the fire underneath my ass. So I just got to keep pushing
Throwing
and
yourself
keep
out
talking.
there.
Throwing
Out of the
myself
comfort
out
zone.
there.
Seriously, big respect. This is really cool.
I like that. And I like that we met. I'm glad that we became friends. And I would love to have you on again sometime and just
There
kind
you
of
go,
see where
follow up.
life's to. Yeah, a little follow up
Yeah.
to your happiness, see what's happening, and give the fans what they want.
I would love to become like your staple guest or something like that. There you go.
Like, boys, thanks for bringing Dinner Bell up.
I still can't believe that's just still funny to me. I don't know. Go
So
download
good.
my app.
All right, guys, thanks for tuning in this week to Sunday Sessions. We will see you next time. Later days.